You have no idea how excited I am every week to be able to come into your home and rewind back to what happened earlier today. It's Sunday where I am in the beautiful city of Lithonia, Georgia, in the New Birth Sanctuary. The reason I'm here is because we're in our season of building up. We're now doing stuff to make it better, not just for the people in the sanctuary, but for you. And you are getting ready for the rewind. We're taking you all the way back to this morning. Why? Because you can't mess this up. It's gonna make sense in a minute. Start your watch parties, share, bring your family around the TV, the camera, your iPhone. God forbid you have an Android, we're praying for you, but this is your moment. Get ready for this worship experience. I'll see you at the end. It's time for the rewind.
We give you glory, Lord, 'cause I am just one praise from my breakthrough. I'm just one praise away from my blessing. So I'll just reach down inside into the depths of my soul and bring forth a right now praise that's already in me. And I'm talking to somebody in the building today. You are just one praise from your breakthrough. Somebody in the house knows it. You're just one praise away from your blessing. All you need to do is reach down inside into the depths of your soul and bring forth a right now praise. So we'll give you praise, a right now praise, praise, a right now praise, praise, a right now praise. I just need 60 people to raise your voice and let's give Jesus praise. Y'all got it, church. Praise, all right. That's it, say it. I just wonder, can I get 30 people just to raise that melody in the house? It's time for your breakthrough. Just say it. I am just. Now listen, I gotta go, but I just need you to make your body language say it. Everybody say breakthrough. No. You gotta say it like you know you're about to get a breakthrough before you get back home. Look at your neighbor and say breakthrough. Somebody say breakthrough. Now say it. I am just, hey, one praise from my breakthrough. That's it. We gotta take our seats. Just one more time in the house. I need you to get a praise partner. I want you to prophesy over them. Prophesy down your road. Tell somebody, you are just there. You are just one praise from your breakthrough. Because anything can happen in here. In here. Anything can happen in here. In here. In here. Just say anything can happen in here. It's happening now. It's happening now. It's happening now. Anything can happen in here. Miracles, signs, and wonders. Miracles, signs, and wonders. Say it. Anything can happen in here.
Come on, if you believe it, make some noise around it. Just stand for the word of God. Joshua chapter 6. Joshua chapter 6. Would you look down your row and tell all of them anything can happen in here? I feel that thing right there. Come on, would you just look at the person beside you, tell them, don't mind me. Anything can happen in here.
In here. Anything can happen. It's happening now, church. It's happening now, church. Anything can happen in here. In here. Now somebody say miracles. Miracles are happening right now. Right now. Say breakthrough is happening. Breakthrough is happening. It's happening now. It's happening now. Now say healing. Say it. Healing is happening here. In here. In here. 'Cause anything can happen in here. It's happening now, church. It's happening now, church. Hey, it's happening now, church. Miracles, signs, and wonders. Breakthrough, 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 breakthrough. You've been waiting on it. It's your time. It's your moment. Breakthrough. In here. In here. In here. In here. Right now. Right now. Right now. Right now. Right now. 30 seconds, I need you to give God a breakthrough praise. This for my family. This for my children. This for my money. This for my body. It's for my healing. Somebody give God a breakthrough praise. Glory to God. Breakthrough, 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 breakthrough. I'm not going to praise like I've been praising. My worship is heavy. My worship is heavy. My life depends on my worship. My life depends on this worship. My life depends on it. My life depends on it. I've been on life support, but my life depends on his worship. That's it, lift those hands. Come on, lift those hands. Come on, open that mouth right there. That's it, that's it. It's the warfare in your worship. It's the warfare in your worship. It's the warfare in your worship. It's warfare worship. It's warfare worship. Hey, come on. If I say, come on, come on, come on, higher.
The visitors can be seated. The visitors can be seated. I got to say something to New Birth real quick. This is not for the visitors. This is for New Birth right here. And when I tell you this, I'm telling you, y'all better tear this church up. A year ago today, I was installed as pastor of this church. 1 year ago today, the newspaper thought New Birth was gonna foreclose. The bank didn't think we would be open. Negroes didn't think people would come back to the church. But I need y'all to give God glory if you know the devil is a liar. Come on, I can't hear nobody. I said, would you open up your mouth? If you know if God be for you, who? Let's move. Joshua chapter 6. Joshua chapter 6. Let's go there, please. Joshua chapter 6. And I want us to look at verses 1 through 5. Joshua 6. Joshua chapter 6, verses 1 through 5. Let's try it again. Joshua chapter 6, verses 1 through 5. Now the gates of Jericho were securely barred because of the Israelites. Nobody could get in and nobody could come out. I tell you what, let's just get it out of your system. Would you just take a moment and just get your best praise right there? Everybody in the building, would you just turn around one time? Come on, turn around one time. If you gonna run, run now. If you gonna scream, scream now. If you gonna jump, jump now. Jesus, keep me near the cross. There's a precious fountain, free to all. Come on, in the cross. Come on in. Be my rapture in the cross. Come on in. Be mine. Come on, slow that down, slow it down. Yeah. Just so shall find rest beyond Come on, clap that hand right where you are. Joshua chapter 6, would you, for the 10th time, try to meet me there? Joshua chapter 6. Bless the Lord. Joshua 6, verses 1 through 5. Would you read silently as I read aloud? Now the gates of Jericho were securely barred because of the Israelites. Nobody went out and nobody came in. Then the Lord said to Joshua, see, I have delivered Jericho into your hands, along with its king and its fighting men. March around the city once with all the armed men, and do this for 6 days. Have 7 priests carry trumpets of ram's horns in front of the ark. On the 7th day, march around the city 7 times, with the priests blowing the trumpets. When you hear them sound a long blast on the trumpets, have the whole army give a loud shout. Then the wall of the city will collapse, and the army will go up, and everybody is going to get in. You may be seated in the presence of the Lord. I want to preach for a little while this morning using as a subject, I can't mess this up. I can't mess this up. Would you just elbow the person beside you, tell them whatever you do, please don't mess this up. I can't mess this up. The NAACP, in its most recent Image Awards, presented the film of the year as Just Mercy, starring Michael B. Jordan and Jamie Foxx as film of the year. It chronicles the work of Brian Stevenson, the Harvard-trained lawyer who heads the nonprofit organization called the Equal Justice Initiative, which seeks out fairness for the poor, the incarcerated, and the condemned. Aside from the skewed sentencing, it should be noted that when it comes to the inhumane practice of the death penalty, 3% of America's executions end up being botched. 3%. Dr. Austin Surratt, professor of jurisprudence at Amherst University, in his book entitled Gruesome Spectacles, Botched Executions and America's Death Penalty, describes the tragic errors as evidence of a departure from protocol. The breakdown in effectiveness emerges from unanticipated problems or delays that cause agony for the inmate and exposes incompetence in the official. There are a bevy of examples of botched executions, ranging from convicts catching fire when they were supposed to be electrocuted, or the administration of less than an ample dosage of lethal injection, where the inmate has to wait hours and still never dies. If the margin of error for putting somebody to death is 3.1%, how much greater is the number of failed attempts from not those trying to die, but those who are trying to make an idea come to life? According to Harvard Business Review, 67% of well-formulated strategies fail due to poor execution. I better give that to you again. 67% of all good ideas fail because of poor execution. It's with irony that I share with you today that the term failure to execute is actually a military terminology. It is the lowest common denominator. It equates to the incompletion of a task, an event, a mission, or a project. The contributing factors can be wide and deep. I've never been in ROTC, never been enlisted in the armed services, and so I speak to you as saved civilians to ask you, how come when God gave you the idea, gave you the concept, gave you the dream, gave you the assignment, the mission, how come you didn't execute? There's any range of testimonial excuses in this sacred space. Some of you didn't execute and you blame it on having kids. Some of you didn't because you said you had to pay bills. Others, you lost passion. Somebody behind you will declare because they never had support. Another person would chime in that their timing was off. Somebody else would say it was not really worth the time at the time. You'd be amazed how many young adults would say they had no examples. Somebody else would decry they kept hitting brick walls and got frustrated. Somebody didn't execute because they had an overarching fear of failure. Somebody else didn't execute because they deemed it too risky. I can't imagine how many of you did not execute because you were already burning the candle at both ends. Somebody else didn't execute because they married the wrong person. Somebody else didn't execute because people told you not to. I don't know who this is for. Others of you, I apologize that you even tuned in, that you even wasted the gas to come, because this isn't even your word, but for whoever I'm talking to, God told me to tell you it's going to work this time. For some of you, you can pack up your stuff and get out of here. That's all you needed from God, is it's going to work this time. I hope you can feel it in your spirit the same way I can feel it in mine. You don't even need to turn to your neighbor. Would you just say it out loud to yourself? It's going to work this time. Because it's going to work this time, I cannot afford to mess this up. There was an occasion whereby Jesus came upon a fig tree. He walked up on that fig tree and he noticed that it was bearing no fruit. And Jesus begins to curse that tree and wants to cut it down. But he said, instead of cutting it down, in spite of the fact that it has not produced anything, it has not yielded any fruit, has not given any evidence why it warrants to even be alive, here is the mercy of God. Jesus declares, I'm going to give it one more year. I wish you knew when to celebrate. God told me to tell somebody who's in this room, you don't even know when to give God glory. This is that year for you to produce. This is the year for you to get it done. I don't care what happened in 2019, 18, or 17, but God declared over your life this year of 2020 before December 31st, whatever it is you put your mind to, whatever it is that you got faith enough to believe, whatever it is that you put energy behind, whatever you connect your name to, God declared this year it has got to come to pass, and you better not mess it up. At the Naval Academy in Annapolis, on the first week of orientation, the cadets are taught the 5 basic responses. 5 basic responses when it is that they are asked a question of the superior, by the superior. They're asked a question by their superior, and the answer number 1 is yes, sir. Answer number 2 is no, sir. Answer number 3 is whatever is the correct answer to the question. And number 4, I need you to learn this one. Number 4 is, I'll find out. You are never supposed to tell the superior you don't know. You have a responsibility to find out what the answer is. I'm talking to somebody, you don't know how to start that business, you better go on YouTube. You don't know how to get it done, you better spend the afternoon in Barnes & Noble. You better make somebody mentor you to your right place. When God gives you a call, gives you a demand, gives you a directive, gives you an edict, you can tell him yes. And if you don't know the answer, you got to say, let me find out. Do you know what I found out about God? God will often call you to do something you don't know how to do. God will call you to do something you have no training in, you have no background, you have no expertise, you have no mentor, but if you got a willing heart, God will download the instruction and the direction to get it done. I got some testimonies in here that God put you in a job, you still don't know how you got it, and your co-workers are mad you got it, but God put you in that position and is going to show you how to get it done. Talking to nobody in particular, but would somebody just say out loud, I can't mess this up. Michael Jordan, the greatest living basketball player. Michael Jordan said, if you can't stop thinking about it, don't stop working on it. I better say it again. If you can't stop thinking about it, don't stop working on it. This is a good place for you to preach to your neighbor. Would you get in your preacher voice? Would you point that bony finger at your neighbor and say, if you can't stop thinking about it, don't stop working on it. I need somebody to tweet that for me right there. If you can't stop thinking about it, don't stop working on it. Whatever bothers you is assigned to you. I want to give you this morning 3 reasons. 3 reasons why you can't mess this up. 3 reasons why you can't mess it up. The first reason why you can't mess this up, hear me, is because what you are working on has nothing to do with the present. What you are working on has everything to do with the future. Let me say it to you again. Everything you're dealing with right now, everything you are working towards in this moment has nothing to do with today. God is equipping and preparing you for your future. I'm an avid moviegoer, and I haven't had a chance to go to the movies in Atlanta the way I used to go back at home, but it wouldn't be a week that I would let pass that I wasn't in a movie theater somewhere. And I don't really know movie theaters in Atlanta, but in Baltimore, in the movies, Negroes talk through the movie. They talk. I don't know how it is down here, but they talk through the movie. And so if you want to go see a movie that you're really interested in, you got to drive way out. You got to go way out. And if you're going to go way out, you got to get there early. See, this is hard for black people to do. You got to get to the movie theater early. When you get to the movie theater early, something crazy happens. Is you sitting in there, and all of a sudden it gets dark. It gets dark. And here's what I need you to know, New Birth. You know something is getting ready to happen only when it gets dark. I think I've lost you. You know you're getting ready to see something when it gets dark. Sometimes when it gets dark in your life, it is just an indicator that God is getting ready to show you something. I think I lost somebody here. And then when it gets dark, do you know what happens after it gets dark? When it gets dark, notice this, the movie does not come on. The movie does not come on. What comes on is sneak previews. Sneak previews. And let me tell you what the producer does. When the producer shows the sneak previews, he'll only show you the highlights and the excerpts of the good parts. Y'all ain't saying nothing. And if you sitting beside somebody who you know, you elbow them and say, I can't wait for that to come out. But do you know what the producer does? The producer never gives you the date it's going to come out. The only thing that the producer does is put two words, coming soon. I got to get out of here, New Birth. God told me to tell you, whatever picture you've been seeing for your future, whatever vision you got for your life, whatever you are hoping is going to materialize, I can't tell you when you're going to get it, but God told me to tell you it's coming soon. Hey, be seated, please. Be seated. I know it's corona in the atmosphere. Would you just fist bump somebody and tell them whatever you shouting about is coming soon? The raise is coming soon. The promotion is coming soon. 50 women better scream, the man you gonna marry is coming soon. Says you can't mess this up. Why? You can't mess it up because it's about your future. Second reason why you can't mess this up, second reason why you can't mess it up is because of the fog. Fog is a visible aerosol consisting of tiny water droplets. Now, you got to understand this, is that smog is not, fog is not smoke. Because where there's smoke, there's fire. Fog comes with no fire. And so fog, hear this, is a distraction. It is a distraction to stop you from your vision. I can't hear nobody in here. I was on my way to D.C. and my plane was delayed. Why? Because the pilot couldn't see. It was nothing on the other end of the fog. It was just there stopping me, hear this, from taking off. Preach, Jamal. I'm trying to do the best I can. Sometimes the enemy will throw distractions at you because he's afraid that you are about to take off. But God told me to tell you, buckle up. You just got cleared for takeoff. You getting ready to go further than you ever been in your life. Why? Because the distractions are moving. You have to stop killing mosquitoes with a baseball bat. Everything that you are dealing with that does not connect to your assignment, your vision, and your gifting is just fog. But for the worshipers that can hear my voice, God said, because you gave me glory, watch this week the fog lift. You're going to see people for who they really are. You're going to be exposed to what's really happening. I just needed to see, will you fly through the fog? You can't mess this up because your future is at stake. Can't mess this up because the fog is about to lift. And you can't mess this up because of framing. Can't mess this up because of framing. Last week, I was preaching in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, a week ago, and I got up to preach in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Opened up my iPad, and the iPad wouldn't come on. I just charged it, and it wouldn't come on. I didn't even know I had a prayer life till last Friday. Had no idea that I knew how to talk to God that fast. And they tried to charge up my iPad, and had the choir sing another song so I could get my sermon together, and still it wouldn't come on. My iPad completely died. Wouldn't come on, do not resuscitate. It became an organ donor last week. It wouldn't do anything. And so my staff ordered and overnighted me another iPad. And when they overnighted me another iPad, here's what I tried to do with my crazy self, is I tried to put my new iPad in my old iPad case. I was so in love with my old iPad case. Because it was handmade. It had precious stones in it. It was crafted in Africa. Everybody was hating and jealous of my case. So I tried to put my new iPad in my old case, but something happened from the time that they made my previous iPad to this new iPad. Y'all ain't gonna like it. They changed the position of the camera. And because they changed the position of the camera, where I used to be able to get a picture, it now was blocked. God said, in order for it to work, you got to put it in a new case. Some of y'all are messed up because you keep trying to force your ideas in the old circles and old friends, and they ain't got the vision that you got for your life. If you got to do it by yourself, do it by your doggone self. Change your case. It's all about your position. It's all about how it is that you frame it. My mother's an amazing woman of God, 72 years of age. I'm thankful for her life, thankful for her health. And last Christmas, not this one, last Christmas, my sister and I got her a new iPhone, unnecessarily. She don't need no new iPhone. But we bought her a new iPhone, and the last thing you want is for Dr. Cecilia Bryant to ask you, can she take your picture? That is not what you want. You're going to be there all day, and my mother, with an iPhone 11, is going to use her hand to cover one part of her eye so that she can focus. Y'all ain't saying nothing to me. I said, Ma, why in the world do you cover one part of your eye in order to take the picture? She said, if I cover this eye, then the other eye becomes sharper in what it's got to focus on. Y'all are slow. Y'all didn't get enough sleep last night. God told me to tell you, sometimes when it looks like I'm blocking you, I'm just helping you to focus. I'll get people out of your life, out of your space, because I need you to see who's using you, who's taking advantage of you, who's lying to you, who's trying to get over on you. You got to get tunnel vision in this season. So your framing can be right. I can't mess this up. Children of Israel have been brought out of captivity. And when the children of Israel got brought out of captivity from Pharaoh, years of slavery, oppression, and degradation, here's what's amazing for those of us who graduated from Sunday school. You know that they crossed the Red Sea. The years of slavery, bondage, oppression, degradation, gentrification, they finally crossed the Red Sea. And here's what we don't even understand and what we don't even preach is once they got delivered, they thought they were free. I just said something. See, some of us think once we get delivered out of a situation, that immediately you step into what you're supposed to have. But God says, no, that's just the beginning of the process. He says, I needed you to go through something even after you got delivered because I didn't want you spoiled. I needed you to appreciate the journey that you came out of so that you make up in your mind, I ain't ever gonna live like that again. I need those of y'all who are just grateful for some things that God brought you out of, that God would keep his hand on your life. They bring them out of bondage, and now they're in the wilderness. And the Lord does something I don't understand, but most of us have lived. He now puts them in a desert. And I got to ask you, this ain't even for you, this is for the person beside you. What happens when you're anointed and you're in a place where stuff don't grow? What do you do when God's hand is on your life and you're not having a fruitful existence? I better go further. What happens when you're trying to follow the path of God and you got to watch people around you die and get sick and not able to make it, and you don't even understand why God's hand is still on your life and he tells you, keep going? Can I help somebody further? What happens when you're in the desert and God is with you but won't pull you out of it? What happens when you're going through a rough season and you want deliverance, and God will make you suffer in that position and say, will you trust me if I keep you in it but don't take you out of it? Here are the children of God in an atmosphere where stuff doesn't grow, where nothing is fruitful, where they watching family members die. And while they're watching family members die, 40 years later, they stumble into the wall of Jericho. And the wall of Jericho is the last thing they got to get through in order to get to what God promised. And now God gives them strange instructions. The instructions that the Lord gives them is what God perhaps may be giving to some of us. He says, you are right at the precipice of your greatest blessing. You're right on the edge of your breakthrough. But what I want you to do is I want you to go around the wall and say nothing. You getting ready to get everything you prayed for, everything you shouted about, everything you wrote in your prayer journal, everything you wrote on your vision board. You're about to get there, but don't say nothing. You're about to get what nobody in your family has ever received. But don't say nothing. You are about to break every generational curse. But don't say nothing. You're about to walk in what you thought you were disqualified from. But don't say nothing. You're about to receive what don't match your credit report. But don't say nothing. He says, I want you to walk around for 6 days and don't say nothing. And they don't even know why he's telling them to do it. Because God is telling them, don't mess this up. What do you mean, don't mess this up? Said the last time when I brought you out of the Red Sea and you were on your way to the promise, you started complaining about your process. You started complaining about what you didn't have, not thinking about what you're getting ready to get. So you went through these 40 years because of your mouth. You went through 40 years of doubting me and second guessing me because of your mouth. I allowed people in your family to die because of your mouth. So he said, this time, so you don't offend me, so you don't make me block your blessing, shut up and don't say nothing until I do it. Said, second reason why I want you to be quiet, I need you to be quiet because your enemies are listening. God, I can't hear nobody, and I don't want them to hear the plan I got for your life. Because you talk so much, you gave the enemy your blueprint on what you were trying to get. Shut up and let me do the walking for you. So stop sharing all your ideas. Stop sharing all of your dreams. Stop sharing all of your plans with people who are going to talk you out of it or try to sabotage it or try to undermine it. He said, I need you to be quiet for 6 days. But on the seventh day, I need you to do something crazy. I need you to open up your mouth. Hallelujah. You are not going to need a gun. You're not going to need a bow and arrow. You are not going to need a truck. All you need is your mouth. That if you are quiet for a season, in the moment I tell you, hear me, new birth, the moment I tell you to sound your trumpet, everything they locked you out of, you getting ready to walk into it. Now this ain't for you, it's for everybody next to you. God said if you sound the alarm, it ain't just you going in. Here's your celebration. Everybody in your family is about to step in it. I need you to be seated. I'm coming. Please, would you be seated for just 1 minute? Be seated. I got to show you something. Said, I need you to be quiet until I tell you to make the noise, because you don't even know what's happening. CDC, the World Health Organization, both separately had press conferences this week. They said, I don't know where this furor has come from, but people are doing it wrong. Hallelujah. So they are messing up the surgical centers. They're messing up the health places. So they're messing up the health places because the people, hear this, my words, not the CDC's words, because the people don't even realize that they're in spiritual warfare. God help me in here. They don't even realize they're in spiritual warfare. And so you got people who are living in fear and stress and anxiety here, and watch the hand of the enemy. The hand of the enemy have them all wearing surgical masks. God help me, because the enemy knows if I can get you to cover your mouth, hallelujah, in the face of something that's got the potential to kill you, you ain't gonna make it. But the CDC said if you want to live, take the mask off. Hallelujah. Take the mask off, because what you're dealing with, your mouth can change the world. Y'all, I got to get out of here, but I'm so thankful to tell you that your healing is already in the place. Why is my healing already in the place? Your healing is in the place because you didn't even see what today is. Today is the 8th. You are only supposed to be silent until the 6th. So everything you needed started on yesterday. So God said, if you want to step in it, this is your moment to be shouting in the presence of God. All right? Okay. I'm almost where I'm going. Said, don't mess this up. Said, don't mess this up. I'm not looking for this section to do it, and in this section to do it, and in this section to do it. Don't mess this up.
He said, children of Israel, if all of you shout at the same time, everything that was locked up is about to be open. And not only is it going to be open, here's where y'all ought to get excited. You're going to step into it. My time is almost up. But I'm telling you, would you look at down your row and tell them don't mess this up? All of us going to have to sound the alarm. All of us are going to have to shout in here. All of us are going to have to scream through this season. God told me to tell you, your season of being quiet is over. If you open up your mouth, everything you need me to do is about to manifest. When I count to 3, I want you to shout in here like you about to have it. 1, 2, 3, shout. Listen, hey, I don't want to cause a traffic jam, but if you on the end of the row, if you sitting on the end of the row, would you just step out in the aisle? God said if you scream, you about to step in it. If you cry out loud, you about to step in it. If you open your mouth, you about. Hey, how much? Hey, don't mess this up. Don't mess this up. Don't mess this up. 40 is the number of generations. What God is getting ready to bless you with, no member of your family has ever had it. I can't hear no worshiper. What you are about to walk into, nobody in your family has anything like it. When you cry out unto God, whatever the enemy been trying to lock your children out of, your grandchildren out of, the door is getting ready to open. Cry out unto God like you need something to open. Hey. Hey. Come on, lay your hands on your belly. I need you to cry out unto God. You've been waiting years for this. You've been waiting weeks for this. You've been waiting months for this. Your grandmother prayed for this. This is your hour. I want you to lift up that hand. Something is going to open for you this week. I say it again, something is going to open for you this week. Hallelujah. I'm going to say it till your spirit receives it. Something is going to open for you this week. I speak over every lifted hand that whatever they've tried to lock you out of, whatever they've tried to block you from getting, that in the next 7 days, before you get back to church on next Sunday, God is going to give you evidence that your season of living in the desert is over. I'm waiting on my worshipers to show up. Your season of working and having nothing to show for it has come to an end. Your season of being faithful and fruitless, I declare and decree over every lifted hand that it's not just you getting the blessing, but every person that walked with you in the hardest season of your life.
Every person that wouldn't give up on you when you wanted to give up on yourself is now standing in the gap with you. And those of you, your faith stands in proxy for a family member that needs a wall to come down. This is your last shout of the day. Would you give God glory like a wall is going to fall on their behalf? Give two people a fist bump and tell them, don't mess it up. Don't mess it up. It's going to happen for you. It's going to happen for you. Don't mess this up.
It's a season of power.
Come on, and prosperity.
Prosperity. Oh, it's a new season coming to.
Listen, wherever you are in the room, I want you to believe God. I want you to believe God. Don't mess this up. Please don't mess this up. Everything that the enemy thought he could forecast to go wrong would happen this week. Threats of the virus are skyrocketing. This week, supposed to be a full moon. This week, it's Friday the 13th. Everything to mess up your focus. But God said, you still gonna get it. Still gonna have it. Still gonna walk into it. I don't know who you are. I don't know where you are. Don't mess up your opportunity to get access to God. I was flying out of Durham yesterday. Had to go to D.C. There were no direct flights. Had to have a layover at Kennedy. Got off at Concourse C, thinking I'm gonna run to the plane and make it. He said, you gotta take the shuttle. Riding on the shuttle, stressed out. Finally make it to Terminal B. Gotta run like OJ all the way down to B47. Go to B47, watch this, and the flight attendant won't let me on. I said, but I see the plane right there. I ain't got no bags. Let me on. She said, I'm sorry. By regulation, I got to close the door 10 minutes before departure. I said, but I'm here. Said, it's too late. I said, but I'm first class. Too late. Said, I'm platinum. Too late. You got to get here before the door closes. I'm saying to you, wherever it is that you are, please don't take life for granted. I don't want you to get to the door of heaven and it's too late. And you talking about all your degrees, all of your accolades, but you're not saved. You haven't given your life over to the Master. Wherever you are in this room and you saying, Pastor, you got no idea. You done jailbroke my phone and read my text messages. Got no idea how you got my passcode and read my emails. I don't know how you got in my DMs, but you know exactly what I'm thinking. Wherever it is that you are in this room, I'm begging you, don't mess this up. Do not mess this up. Jesus is the only one, here it is, who's able to walk around with dirty hands. And he's got dirty hands because he touched dirty sinners like me and you. And in spite of that, I want to tell you, the blood still works. If you're in this room and you are grateful God has given you another opportunity, I want you to come meet me at this altar right now. Meet me at this altar. You're saying, Pastor, I know this is my spot. I know this is my church. I know this is my crew. I know this is the ministry I got to get plugged into. That's where you are. I want you to come. I want you to meet me right here. I want you to meet me here. Today is your day of opportunity. Today is the day where you press the refresh button. Today is where you begin to do life over again.
It's a new season.
If you're here, I need you to come.
There's a fresh anointing.
It's coming my way.
It's your season of power and
Listen.
prosperity.
Listen, in my spirit's eye, I'm telling you, in my spirit's eye, I saw 13 of y'all coming. I don't know where this other 7 are, but I need y'all to come quick. I need you to come fast. I need you to come in a hurry. Would you do me a favor? I need y'all to help your boy out. If you're physically able, I need you to stand. If you're physically able, I want to ask that you'll stand. I don't want nobody to crawl over you, to climb over you. I don't want them to feel like it's an inconvenience trying to get saved, trying to get connected to God. I need y'all to help me give God glory. Here they come.
Ooh, it's a new season coming to me.
Bless the Lord. They still coming and y'all still ain't clapping.
It's a new day. There's a fresh anointing.
Fresh anointing.
It's coming my way.
Bless his name. Would you all step up for me just a little bit? Listen to me real quick. 5 of y'all that are still out here, I need you to come. Even our friends who are viewing online, this is supposed to be your church. I'm supposed to be your pastor. Most importantly, Jesus is supposed to be the Lord of your life. I need you to come. I need you to become a member. You're living outside of Atlanta, you can still be a part of this ministry. Go to our website right now, newbirth.org. Y'all, would you give God glory for this young lady coming? She's a history maker. Bless his name. That was 1 of my 5. Here come 2 of my 5. I'm waiting on 3 more of you to come. I need 3 more of you to come. Something is getting ready to open for you if you'll just get to this altar. I'm telling you, whatever the enemy thought he could lock you out of, here come 3 out of my 5. Here come 4 out of my 5. Here come 5 out of 5. Here comes 6 over top of the 5. Bless his name. Bless his name. Here comes 7. You coming? Come on. That's 7 and 8. Here come 9. All right. Let's cap it off. When that 10th one comes, I want y'all to tear the roof off this church. Come on. Here come 11. Bless his name. We're grateful. Grateful for you. Here come 12. All right. If you're online, you still got time to make this covenant, make this love connection in 2 minutes and 2 seconds. Do me a favor, we're at 12. Let's just go to 15 and stop. Let me just get 3 more of you to come. Would you do me a favor? Do me a favor, please, by faith. I know y'all scared of people because of the virus, but by faith, would you just talk to 2 people around you and ask them, are you saved? Hallelujah. Ask them, do you have a church home? Ask them, have you given your life over to God? Ask him for me. Ask him for me. Bless the Lord. All right. Stretch your right hand to faith. Amen. Stretch your right hand to faith. The 3 of y'all, you better come quick. You ain't gonna have nobody cover for you when you need a day off. I need you to come quick. That's his name. Here come 13. Here come, no, I'm still at 13. Let me get my 2 more. The 2 of y'all, stop playing. I need you to come. 2 of y'all, please. I want you to come. Michael Bloomberg will tell you the peril of coming too late. You come too late, you ain't ever gonna make it to the party. Come on. I need 2 of you to come. Y'all better shout for this beautiful brother coming. Come on. I only need 1 more. I only need 1 more. Where you at? Where you at? I need y'all to shout, here they come. They're still coming. Y'all better shout for those who are still coming in the overflow. Coming in the overflow. All right, stretch your right hand. Oh no, here come 2 more. This was worth getting up early for. Come on now. Stretch your right hand to faith. Let's try it one more again. Bless the Lord. Is that it? You finished? You ain't supposed to be up here? Don't mess this up. We was doing good. Just come on, please, wherever you are. I just want you to come on real quick. Listen, I'm telling you, those of y'all who are scared of church, this is the best time to join. Ain't nobody gonna lay hands on you. Would you just? The last person, if you'll come. Please, please, right where you are. Oh, man, listen. Oh, Lord, you done made my day. All right. This pastor done drove all the way from Memphis. Is joining our church today. That's one of my sons. Give God glory for him. Stretch your right hand to faith. Let's try to get out of here. All right. Is you finished? Is you through? All right. Stretch your right hand to faith. Repeat after me. You're in the right place at the right time. Joining the right church. Serving only God. And I know that's right. If you know him right, come on, give God some praise right here.
What an amazing message by our senior pastor, Dr. Jamal Harrison Bryant. I need you to share that, and share it again. A few things I'm going to need you to do. If you want to be a member, if you want to join this amazing place called New Birth, go to newbirth.org and click the link in the top that says join. Become a member right away. Secondly, some of you want to sow seeds in the great ground. Text NBGIVE to the number on the bottom of the screen, and you can do that right away. Men, all men, I want you to meet me here tomorrow, Monday at 7:30 for the men's locker room here in our sanctuary. Fourthly, Tuesday is always about group therapy. It's for you, it's for me, it's for everybody we're connected to. Parting is such sweet sorrow, so we gotta go. I'm your pastor of Internet and Innovation, Kervance Ross. I love you, have a drama-free week, and I'll see you when I see you. Peace.